I want all of you to join me in giving a very, very warm welcome to two of our favorite stars in Gene's galaxy. Cast members from Star Trek The Next Generation, we love them. They've made 4 motion pictures after the show ended. You've seen him on DS9, you saw her on Voyager as well, and on Enterprise. We love them, and we're thrilled to have them here with us this afternoon. Please welcome Michael Dorn and Marina Sirtis from Star Trek The Next Generation, celebrating 30 years. Wow, amazing. So much. Michael and Marina, welcome. Wow, this is huge.
That's a lot of noise for 3 people. That's a big sound with just 3 people. Excellent work, excellent.
Love the accent.
Who are these people down here? Who are you?
This is the press. Hello.
Oh, hello, hello. Okay.
Hello, Michael and Marina.
I have to sit sideways because my skirt's a bit tight. There we go.
Take it easy, take it easy.
Relax, everybody.
Vegas.
Welcome, guys. It's been a couple of years since the Next Gen Blu-rays. It's been, you know, a new audience has.
Is that where you're going to sit?
I will be here. I can sit wherever you want.
Because I'm getting a crick in my neck.
Okay, well, maybe. Should I join you guys on the couch? No.
I'll sit.
Oh, yeah, this is good. This is good. This is even better. Great photo up, by the way. Yes, snap photos away. Yes. Well, welcome, guys. 30 years of Star Trek
This is
Next
weird.
Gen.
I'm getting feedback. I'm hearing you. Look, that's.
Sound check?
Yeah.
Is that better?
We're getting reverb.
It's a big room. It's a big room.
30 years.
30 years. Marina, I remember at one point you described being cast on Next Gen. You compared it to a musician being invited to join the Rolling Stones.
Actually, that wasn't me. That was my husband who said that.
Oh, your husband said that.
Yeah, my husband said, he said, you know, because I was like, it's Star Trek. And he goes, I'm like, you know, it doesn't really get a lot of respect in Hollywood. Well, it didn't when we were around, you know. And he was like, no, you don't understand. He goes, for an actor to be on Star Trek is like a musician being asked to join the Rolling Stones. That's a big analogy. Good analogy. Yeah.
Well, back then it was very different. Going back to what you were saying about respect in Hollywood, I remember Rick Berman saying that the show had 3 strikes in the beginning. It was a sequel to a beloved show, it was syndicated, and it was science fiction. Those 3 things back then did not work. And here we are years later, and you know, we're in a universe where big franchises, you know, like Marvel and even Star Wars now doing television. It was very different back then. How did you guys feel when you first heard about TNG and went into an audition? Was it just another job opportunity, or did you think that potentially here, this could last?
I think all of us felt that, excuse me, it was a great job. Well, first of all, we didn't know it was going to be a great job. We said,
hang on. Can you see us over there? Are you watching us on the screen? Both, but can you see us? Yeah? Okay. All right, just checking.
so I think all of us were just happy to be in a series and happy to have a pilot for a series. And I think for me, I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I thought I'd do this show, work a couple of years, make some money so you can, you know, take it easy and do some other stuff. But I don't think any of us knew it was going to be like this.
No.
Did you have, I know Marina, you were close to Gene and his wife Majel. Do you remember any conversations with Gene early on where he might have said to you why he was coming back to Star Trek and why it was important for him to prove to people that it wasn't just lightning in a bottle and that he could recreate that?
No, we didn't have those conversations. I mean, the only conversation I had with Gene before we started was the character. And he went, do what you want.
Do what you want, that was...
Do whatever you want, yeah, so...
You know, I don't think, you know, the funny thing is about, you ask about Gene, I don't think it was about, you know, anything he had to prove. because he had already done the show, already done the original show, and they had a bunch of movies, so he was still involved in it. And I think they approached him about it. They said, we want to bring Star Trek back, and they wanted to do network first, and then Paramount, they couldn't come to terms with CBS, and so Paramount said, we do it ourselves, and so that's how the syndication came. But I don't think it was about...
No, the syndication came because apparently Gene had such an awful time with NBC with the original show.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. That's what I said. She doesn't listen to me much. I start talking, she's like, oh, how many teeth do I have?
Was there a moment early on where you felt this could work? Or even, I'm not just talking about the storytelling, but the group of people. You're an amazing cast of actors and you're very close to each other, you worked very well. Was there a moment early on when you felt, I get it, this is going to be good? None of that. Wow, I'm amazed by that because here we are and it's the longevity of the show is on.
First day. I thought we were all going to get fired because we were all laughing too much. We were having way too much fun, and I thought, oh, we're all going to get fired. We were down in that market at Farpoint with all the cloth and weird-looking aliens, and I had never met an alien before. And basically, I thought, okay, we're just this group of unruly, actors, and we're all getting the boot as soon as possible. But that's what made our show special, I think, was the fact that we actually all did adore each other from day one, literally from day one. So.
Not all of us.
Oh, well, not me and you, obviously. Yeah.
Really?
I thought he was very surly.
And I thought she was stuck up. I didn't know it was just the accent.
Which is kind of weird because anybody who's English in the audience, put your hands up.
English fans?
English people. This is not a stuck-up accent. It's about as common as you can get, right? You know when they say you're born on the wrong side of the tracks? Where I was born, there weren't even any tracks. So, it's where the riots started in London a few years ago. So, I don't come from... I love it when I get tweets from people who don't agree with me on certain things, and they call me an elite. Yeah, I'm an elite. I'm an elite Cockney, because I'm a true Cockney,
But you see,
born in the East End of London.
for us,
Yeah.
the English accent is just, and she just, when she'd come in, like, oh, and she wouldn't even pay attention to me, really. She was, oh, we're all going to get together and do Christmas presents for the crew. Oh, yes, Michael, you can join too if you like. Ew. But after the first year, second season?
Yeah, it was we had a long summer holiday between the first and second seasons because there was a writer's strike that went on for about 6 months. So we had about 6 months off in between the first and second seasons. And so my brother was coming to visit me from Greece and he plays tennis. And I knew that he played tennis. And so I said to Dorny, would you play tennis with my brother when he comes to visit? And he went, yeah, of course. And then?
Her brother and I got along famously. I mean, we were had such a great time talking about laughing and giggling and running around. And I came back, he says, hey, Michael, would you like to come back and have dinner? I said, yeah, sure. And I get back, and there's Marina in the kitchen making dinner.
Pasta carbonara, it was, I remember.
Pasta. Would you boys like some more pasta? And I'm going, who is this person? What does she do with Marina? And it was from that moment that I just realized that she wasn't her
stuck-up self.
Stuck-up self. It is. They have that in there.
Oh yeah, it's in there.
You have that in there.
Yeah.
But she has a big heart. She loves her brother, and I think she liked me at that point because her brother liked me. And I think she goes, oh well, he's okay then.
You can't be all bad if Steve likes him. Yeah.
So,
Michael, before you started on the show, I think you were actually a fan of the original.
yes, very much.
How much did they tell you when you went in for Worf? Here, I think you were the last of the lead actors cast. On
Yeah,
the
I was, I called my agent when I heard that they were doing it, and they called and they tried to get me an audition for the cast. And they said, it's already done, you know, it's already been cast. And so that was it. And then 2 weeks later, I get a call saying that they want you to audition for the part of Worf. And that's all I heard.
No idea that this was a Klingon. That
Oh, I knew it was.
Yeah.
They knew it was. They told me it was a Klingon. Nobody else knew. You know, my agents and managers didn't know anything like that.
What's a Klingon?
But I knew about it. So when I went in, I was very Klingon-ish. And I didn't talk to my friends that were in there reading also. I went into a room. I walked in. I said, "Excuse me, is there a room when I can be by myself?" And the poor girl says, "Yeah, right over there." "Thank you." And I walked into the other room and stayed there until they called me. Came out, walked into the room, and of course I know, I mean, I don't know them, but I know by face Gene Roddenberry and Bob Justin and all these guys. I'm like going inside, I'm going, shit.
But you can't show that. You can't show that.
And I walked over, I said, "Hello, how are you? Thank you." And I read, and at the end of it I go, "Thank you very much, goodbye." And I walked out.
And then how soon after that do you find out that you are going to be part of the group?
That was the first audition. There was about 20 guys, 15, 20, something, I'm not sure how many, but something like that. Then 2 days later was the final audition, and there was only 3 guys. There was one guy, James Avery, who was the father on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Wonderful actor, good guy, I love him to death. And another guy named James Watkins, and the 3 of us. And we each read twice. And at the end of it, they say, "Okay, thanks guys, we'll let you know." And they said, "Oh, Michael, could you wait a minute? We want to give you a tape that you sent in." And you know how slow I am.
Duh.
I'm like,
I didn't send the tape in. What are you talking about? What tape?
you know, well, I knew enough to keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
I don't have to go,
Thanks a
"Oh, yeah, okay." And they came out of the room and told me. And that was, and then within an hour, I was in makeup tests.
With Mike Westmore, probably.
Mike Westmore, which is very interesting because I met Mike back in '77. I had a bit part in the first Rocky, and he was a makeup artist there. So that's how it started. And I wasn't introduced to the other actors. You didn't know one. Nobody knew who I was. And I just showed up one day and started working, and that was it.
That's incredible. What about you, Marina? What was the beginning of the journey like for you, as through the auditioning process and coming onto the show and the early days? Of
It
filming?
was terrifying, because, you know, I had 6 auditions, he only had 2, and I had 6 over 6 weeks. And I knew, you're getting closer and closer and closer and closer, so I'm getting more and more and more and more nervous. Because I also have a ticket back to England and a visa, a permit to be in the country, which was going to run out. So I was stressed about that. I was stressed about the auditioning. It got to the point of the last audition, and the way it works in Hollywood is they make you sign your contract before you go in for the last audition, so that when you get the job, you can't hold them up for more money. Right? You have to make your deal when you're still desperate for the job, right? Once you've got the job,
I get you for life.
yeah. So when my agent started to tell me what she negotiated for me, I said, "Stop!" She said, "What?" I said, "Don't tell me." She went, "What?" I said, "Don't tell me how much money's involved. Because if I know how much money's involved, I'm nervous enough as it is, I won't be able to speak." So when I went in for the audition, Junie Lowry, who was casting the show, gave me my contract. She said, "You have to sign this before you go in." And I said, "I can't." She said, "What?" I said, "I can't, because I don't know what it says." And she said, "Don't ever do that." Okay, people? Don't ever sign something before you've read it. Right? So she said, "Well, you have to sign it, otherwise you can't go in the room." So what we did was we covered up the actual contract, and we just left the signature lines free so that I could sign. And I went in and I did the audition, and you know, that was on a Monday, and I didn't hear anything, and I didn't hear anything on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, I was going back to England because I had a ticket, and I had no money. So if I didn't use that ticket, I was going to be an illegal, which wasn't as bad in those days as it is now.
Good point, very good point, Marina.
Had to get it in, sorry. Had to get one.
Nice.
But you know, all the same. So, on Wednesday, I literally had gone to my room, I'd got the suitcase down off the top of the closet, I opened the suitcase and the phone rang, and it was my agent. And she said, this is so Hollywood, we got it.
What do you mean, we?
We got it. I'm like, I don't remember you in the room when I was auditioning. Were you invisible? Were you wearing your invisible
So what did you
thing?
feel? What did you feel at that moment?
At that moment, it was like the happiest moment of my life. It was the happiest moment of my life to that point. Probably the happiest moment of my life, period, actually. Don't tell my husband. And so then I go on the show, and I'm everybody's favorite person. I'm the blue-eyed girl. And then people start ignoring me. And I start getting written out of shows. And producers, I'd be walking on the set towards the producers, and they would turn around and walk away. Oh yeah. So I knew I was getting fired. When producers stop talking to you, the writing's on the wall, right?
How many episodes in was this?
This was, well, Denise was still on the show.
Really, the
Yeah,
first
so
like
early,
6, 7, 8
early.
episodes.
And the reason that I didn't get fired was because Denise quit.
Did producers come up to you at any point and say, look, we're having a difficult time writing for this?
No,
character?
my agent called Gene Roddenberry, and because we knew, we kind of, you know, when you keep getting ridden out of episodes, you know. So my agent called Gene and said, is there anything we can do, you know, to help? And Gene said, I'm sorry, but I have to do what's best for the show. So I'm like, okay, get me another job. You know, it was literally, I thought I was gone. But Denise quitting saved my job.
I know you and Gene and Majel were very close. As you got to know them better, was that something you talked to Gene about?
No, I didn't know this until after he died, actually. Yeah, I only found this out, like, much later. And Majel told me, bless her heart, I said to her one day, years, you know, later, I said, I was going to get fired, wasn't I? And she said, yeah.
Amazing. Well, we learn something new every day. I never heard that story. When did you guys first see any footage after working on the show? I hear there was a premiere for Farpoint at Paramount. Did you guys? Oh, okay. Well, this is.
That's how I watched it.
Let's go
That's
to
how
Marina for this.
I watched Encounter at Farpoint like this. I didn't even go to the party afterwards. I was so embarrassed. I thought I stank up the room. I did.
Why?
I was terrible.
Why, Marina?
Because it was Sophie's Choice meets Star Trek. It was terrible. I was wailing and bawling and grape joy glue all the time. It was like, did I have
That
to...
wasn't your choice.
It wasn't my choice.
It was the writing.
It was the
No,
writing.
it was actually the director.
It was the director.
Director.
I was dating I've always dated musicians, but I was dating a musician. I married a musician. This is why I'm so different to most Hollywood actresses. They marry producers that can help them in their careers. I married a penniless musician who was living in his van when I met him, right? Just saying. Anyway, what were we
I
talking
tried to
about?
ask her out, and she goes, do you have a house? I go, yeah. She goes, never mind.
Well, no, you were telling us about how you felt watching the footage.
It was horrible. I thought it was horrible.
Michael, how about you? How did you feel about season 1 of Next Gen and Worf? And I know Gene was trying to convey a message by having a Klingon on the bridge, but that's one element of it, but also you have to do more than that in terms of the storytelling. And eventually there was a great mythology that was developed. A big hand for Ron Moore if you're a fan of Michael's work.
You watched the show, didn't you?
Many times.
Right.
Every episode, over 1 million times doing the Blu-rays, probably.
Okay.
Well, definitely the first year was a teething process for the show. because we had been sort of like groomed by this one director that they had.
Coriolanity,
yes. He had very strong ideas about what we are and who we are and that type of thing. And I think that was part of it also. For my character, once again, as no matter what people think about the character, he was all over the place. He was on away teams, he was driving the ship, he was doing all kinds of stuff, and I liked that. I thought that was really cool. But it was a struggle also the first year, because there was a lot of people trying to establish themselves. You know, oh, I want to say that. I want to get those lines. I want to, there was a lot of that going on.
Was that dynamic happening as you're filming, or before you get
No,
to stage?
no, this is before.
Right.
When we have these script meetings, there would be this dynamic of not everybody, but some people. Okay, I want to say those lines. I want those lines. I want to be, and people were vying for, an identity. And also not only identity, but something that was going to propel their characters to the forefront. And I've seen it before, so it's not like I just went, I was doing what I'm going to do. But
Did I ever want any of your lines?
no.
Funny that.
But the dynamic started to change a lot because of Denise. Because when she left, then I think the show, for some reason, took on another identity.
Well, and you now became the head of security, so if you're talking about an identity, at least
Yeah.
you had something to do every week, which was specific to that character.
Yeah, but still they were still trying to figure out who Worf is. And I think that the first year and second year, they got an idea that started to really gel.
Look, let's be honest, there were some horrible episodes the first season.
Code of Honor, anybody?
Code of Honor.
The racist episode?
The misogynist episode.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of those actually.
One where these women have been running the planet forever. And then Riker comes down, shut up Dorn. Riker comes down and he makes one speech and they decide to change their system of government. Only
One man can make a difference,
Only
Marina.
it was that easy. Is that another one? Okay, that's two. All right.
But yeah, so
They are Star Trek related, because I get in trouble for talking politics, you see. So
yeah, but
make it related to
But I think that it just became a thing where it was a transition from the old to the new in terms of these were guys that were started on the original from the 60s.
Yeah, Bob Justman goes back to
now it's 80, now it's 87, it's 20 years. I mean, and they still had these ideas like Code of Honor. It's like, I know a planet with just black guys. That's a good idea, isn't it?
That
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, that was a good idea until they started fighting over the white woman.
Now, could you guys react to...
It just, let me tell you something. That episode, I wasn't in that episode at all. It was the first year, I think I missed.
You called in sick that week, Michael?
No, not at all.
You weren't.
No, I just wasn't in it.
He wasn't in it because he was black.
No, that's not it.
You weren't black?
No, that wasn't it.
Wolf black?
No, it just wasn't. It wasn't about any of that stuff. But I wasn't in it. But I saw the episode, and I went, "Oh my God! What
Was this possible?
And everything, as it went on and on, I was like, I don't think the show is going to last. This is going to kill us.
Did you? Well, I think you said to me when we were doing the Blu-rays that at the end of the year you would go to Rick and ask him if during the summer maybe you should be looking for another job.
Well, that wasn't because of the show. That was because of my experiences in the business before then. Different than what you're talking about, producers. When producers come up to you, and this has happened twice, they say, Michael, God, you're doing a great job. We're so happy that you're on the show. If there's anything you want to ask, anything you need, just let us know. And the next thing you know, I'm fired.
Pink slip, yeah.
And it happens so quick. There is no warning. And so I just wanted to make sure that I had a job the next year. No problems. I wasn't upset, but I just say, hey Rick, do I have a job next year? And he goes, yeah, of course you do. I said, really? And he goes, yes. I said, okay, good.
Was there a moment during the run of the show where you guys felt, this is good, no, never?
Not for me. I always was prepared to be fired, not because the show wasn't doing well or they didn't like the character, but just because I don't like to get that comfortable, because you start making decisions.
Safer, maybe?
You start making decisions about your life and your finances based on, oh, I'm going to be making a lot of money from it. No, you never know. So I like to just...
He's like Clytemnestra, the prophet of doom, isn't he? Really? Dorny, there is a bright side to things, you know.
Marina?
What?
Did we have a conversation with Eric Sussman about you and your dour outlook about
I don't
everything
have
is
a
dead?
dour outlook. I'll just say I'm going to die one day. Talk about death.
We all will. It's inevitable.
Exactly.
I told this actor.
It's the way of things.
I told this actor, I said, Marina, she goes, oh, I'm not like that. I said, okay. So Eric, if you want to buy a house, get the house that you like. And she goes, yeah, because you never know, one day a piano may fall on you
You'll
and
be
kill you.
walking down the street and a piano falls on your head, right? You just don't know.
But that's positive.
Speaking of positive things, though, even though there was a lot of frustration, the producers constantly with the Emmys every year, you guys did great work, great writing, no recognition for
Oh,
that.
excuse me. Yes, we did. Yes,
Well, no,
we
but
did.
that's what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
So set it up, because there were two things. One
Yeah.
for Michael, and then one for the whole
We
group later
got
on.
nominated. We were the first, the only Star Trek show to ever get nominated for Best Show.
In the Emmys,
The
best
Emmys,
drama.
right? Best drama. Okay, we didn't win.
It's huge. It was
Picket Fences won, right? Do you know what? Because we were cancelled, we were onto the movies by then.
You were movies.
We were not invited to the Emmys.
Did you guys crash the
We,
party though? You did, no?
we
No?
weren't there. Because Paramount, in their cheapness, and I don't care that I'm saying this because they've never hired me again. Paramount, in their cheapness, didn't want to pay the $500 a ticket for us to go. We were cancelled. And we weren't going to win anyway. So why did we need to be there? The Emmys. Where the tea lady shows up if her show's won Best Show, right? That is exactly how we were treated. We're nominated for Best Show, we're not invited to the Emmys.
It's still very significant. You must have felt, at least, and I know we keep talking about how you felt it was never safe, but at that point, looking at it from...
But we were done then.
You were done, but you were going to do the movies, and you were still in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah,
you must
but
have
when
felt some kind of...
no, it's very
nothing.
When you do movies, you go up a notch. We had a basket waiting for us in our trailers when we did the movies, didn't we?
That's good. That's good. What was in the basket?
Well, goodies. We had a goodie basket. Whereas, Christmas time on TNG, they'd come around with a black bin bag full of hats. Baseball hats. Here, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Looking at the guys on Frasier and all that, and they're getting TVs.
Yeah, Frasier got a car, I hear. You got a sports car.
Tom Cruise got a
Yes, he got a sports car.
Mercedes. We got baseball hats with
It was syndicated. It was syndication. Hey, but
Not that I'm bitter or anything.
it's behind you, Marina. All that's behind
Behind
you.
me.
But Michael, you did break through with an NAACP award nomination for Best Actor in a Dramatic Presentation. That was significant, very important.
It was very funny up until the ceremony. And this is funny how, up until the ceremony, it was, I think, Howard Rollins and Danny Glover, and I think even somebody sitting.
Good company, good company.
Oh, and I was just going, hey, you know what? This is such an honor, and I was driving to the award ceremony. I'm going, I'm talking to the ED. I'm going, this is all wonderful. I don't care if I win. I'm just lucky to be with these guys. Okay? And I'm sitting there, and they're going through all the things. And I'm going, this is so wonderful. I'm just lucky. I don't care if I win or not. I'm just happy. Danny Glover, Howard Rollins, Sidney, oh, come on, Except when they start reading the names, I'm going, I want this award so bad. I want it.
Now.
Maybe one of them will die going up to the stage. And I can get the award. And after they said, and the winner is Howard Rollins, I go, Howard Rollins. I don't even like, he's not that good. You know? At the end of it, I was going, oh my God, and my girlfriend at the time was going, Michael, what happened to you? I said, I don't know. But yeah, you get, even though you think, that award, man.
Moment of truth changes everything. We have a lot of fans who want to, for Q&A lining up. We'll get to that in a moment. Before we do that, I do want to ask you guys about the end of the Next Gen TV era. Just those last couple of days working together as a family. How did you feel? I know you were getting together again a week later. A week later, you guys were getting together again to start shooting the film. So.
Wait, 2 days. I had 2 days off in between the TV and the movie, but it didn't feel like it was over until the movie was over, because we were on the same sets, we were working with the same people, same crew. Oh, baby. Oh.
A Starfleet uniform, is that a command uniform from Next Gen?
That's the next
Gen command. Oh, look at that. A little Captain Picard. Adorable.
So yeah, it didn't feel like it was finished to me until the movie was done.
Now that moment though, that great scene at the end of the show with the poker, and the camera flies out and then we go to the Enterprise and then the... I know, here we go. Michael, come on, something emotionally at least during the filming of that moment.
Oh no, he's like, listen, he had been... Like,
did Worf break down?
But listen, he was like, I can't wait for this show to be over. I hate this makeup. I can't wait to never have to wear this makeup again. I just hate it. Like that, right? We shoot that scene. We're hugging at the end. We're all in tears. This one, sobbing. Sobbing. So hard.
What did it, Michael?
So hard. His nose fell off. His nose came right off.
Stop. I couldn't.
What set you
off? Stop. Well, you know, it was something, I don't know what it was, but it was like, just what she was saying. I was like, oh, we're gonna see each other.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna, this is not over, we're gonna see each other, we're gonna hang out. And what got it was, this was off camera, is that at one moment, everybody's sitting at the table. And spontaneously, we just held hands and looked at each other. And I just went, oh no.
It's happening. It's happening.
Oh God. And so I got through it, and then when they took off my baldric, I just lost it. I mean, I just started, the director, oh God, I'm so good, you know, and I'd get it together, and then I see somebody else, and I start crying again. I mean, it was just, I don't know what happened. I'm going, you know, it reminds me of that.
You keep trying to touch my legs.
Because
you know, you don't touch what you can't afford, Dorny.
He has a house.
Well, that's okay. I think I have $1.
Q&A time. How about Q&A?
Wait, there's more.
Okay, more with Michael.
$1.
We'll start with some more.
And I want my change.
Perfect, Michael. Beautiful execution from Michael Dorn, everybody. All right, let's go to Q&A, because I don't know how to follow that up. All right, to my left here. Good afternoon, how are you?
Doing fine. Thanks for having us all here and being here with us. Kind of connected to what just happened, you mentioned that there was a lot of laughter on the set. Was there one person in particular that was kind of the jokester? Did they pull any pranks or anything?
No pranks, because, you know, I'm now a psychologist by osmosis. It took a while for the biology lessons to come back, or to remember what that meant, right? I have a theory about pranks. You really only play pranks on people who deep down you don't like very much. You don't play them on people that you really love, especially mean pranks, okay? But we were a very funny cast, as you will see, and you have seen, I'm sure, over the years. We're all funny in our own way. I don't think anyone's funnier than anybody else, but we are a very funny cast. We make each other laugh, and that's really all we care about. Because we go to parties, we're very cliquey, our group, we are, I admit. We will go to a party, and by the end of the evening, we're sitting in a corner with our backs to everybody else. Laughing, right, at our own jokes, yeah. So we're very cliquey, and it's not, I suppose not. We have let some people in. We let Carl Urban in, girls. Yeah, I insisted that Carl Urban join the group. I also insisted that Nathan Fillion join the group. There are no girls in the group, apart from me and Gates and Denise. There aren't any more girls allowed in the group, but nice-looking boys can come.
All right, let's go to my right side over here.
Hello, my darling.
Hey,
Hi.
first of all, I just want to thank you guys for all your hard work you've done over the years. Like all of us, I had a rough childhood, so I got a lot of ideas and stuff from you guys. The way you did with the characters was so awesome. Michael, you're the best queen ever. Just one
Best Klingon ever.
Yes. I just have to say that I just want to hear from you because your cast have some of the best actors ever, and I really want to hear from you when there's a big emotional scene. What's your mindset when you're about ready to do a big scene? And for you, Michael Dorn, and both of you, how did you go about it?
Emotional stuff.
Emotional, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good at that stuff.
Oh, God.
It's like, which eye do you want the tears to come out of?
Do it on cue. Can you do it on
I can pretty much.
You know what, and she can not only cry on cue, but she can make the tear go down, and then she could suck it back up in.
She can control the tear. It's remote control. Wow.
Just, you know,
No.
the tear will stop right here, and then it'll go back up in her.
That's the Greek part of me, because Greeks are very emotional, as you all know, and so you just scratch the surface and it's emotion underneath. So for me, for all of you budding actors out there, acting is telling the truth. That's all it is, it's being truthful. And if you're truthful, what's supposed to happen in the scene will happen in the scene. It will happen organically if you're being truthful. I'm not a method actress. Method is more, you use your own personal experiences, you know, to create emotion. That's not my way of doing it. There isn't a wrong way or a right way. My way is, like I said, if you're telling the truth, that will happen. I don't use my own personal experiences because the writer didn't know me when he was writing the role. You have to be true to the character. And as you've probably gathered over the years, I'm about as like Troy as chalk is to cheese, right? So drawing on my own stuff would not have worked for Troy at all because we were so very different. My reaction to something would be very different to Troy's reaction to something. I mean, like Ensign Rowe. Remember Ensign Rowe? Yeah. All right, I'll keep it down, honestly.
Don't get too excited about Ensign Rowe, please.
I was a lieutenant commander, and she was an ensign, right? Lieutenant commander, ensign. And in that episode, Disaster, she knew everything, technical, and I knew nothing. And I said to Jonathan, didn't I go to Starfleet Academy? Didn't Troy go to Starfleet Academy? Where was she in all the technical classes? And he said she was getting her legs waxed. So, you know, I I basically just tried to stay true to the character. That's all I'm trying to say.
Michael, anything from you about the anything from you, Michael, about the prep, the acting process?
No, it is. I'm
The band's coming out. Hurry up, Dorn. The band's coming out.
Time flies.
I'm like an English actor. It's acting.
Yeah.
It's like you say, okay, you're supposed to be upset. You're supposed to be, sad or happy, whatever the case, whatever you're doing, mad. You just think about how you would feel and how you would interpret that, and that's how it comes out. And some people are very good at it, better at it than a lot of people. But that's it.
Do we have time for one more, guys? Or are we...
Yeah,
one more? Let's do one more over here.
We haven't had a lot.
Hello, my question is for Michael. And Mr. Dorn, I know that your past times, that you're a pilot. I mean, I believe you have a twin engine certification. It's really cool.
I can take it out.
This is a fact check question.
Sure.
I mean, what I understand is that during the run of the series, there was a restriction on how much you could fly.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't know if that was true.
Yes.
But, I mean, I just was curious to know how much of a restriction it was, and is that common for actors who are pilots, that
Yes.
they have to do that too?
Actually, it's very funny. I wanted to fly my whole life, always wanted to do it. And at the writer's strike, I was able to, because I had money finally, and I had the time, 6 months, so I went down there to Santa Monica Airport. And I knew that there would be a restriction. I knew that there could be a problem. So I kept it a secret. And until one day, NBC News came out to do a story about transponders.
Dorn, your thumb is
Busted.
And they said on the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock news, they had pictures of me flying and going, Michael Dorn would never take off without a mode C transponder, and they take me flying off it. And they actually went to the producers. One of the producers saw it, and they said, no, we don't care if he's on television and he flies, that's fine. But for the movies, they said during the contract time, which is 70 days or whatever it is, you cannot fly.
It's for insurance reasons, right? Because you got to
So,
follow the film.
if you're on a TV, it's okay if you die. But movies, it's against the law.
See, that's why you get a basket when you do the movies. Right? When you're on TV, they don't care if you drop out of the sky and die. They'll just put someone else in the turtle head.
But I got to also, just to put a button on it, my lawyer, who's a pilot also, I've known for 40 years, 30 years now, same thing. He knew how much I love to fly, and he knew about piloting. And so when we're doing the contract took weeks and weeks and weeks. He never mentioned that until I went to sign it. I had the pen in my hand. And he goes, okay, Michael, just sign right there, and da-da. And by the way, you can't fly during this movie. I went, what? Because he knew that I would go, oh, no. So, but it was great.
So,
Well,
that's it, guys.
Michael and Marina, the time flies. Big hand for Michael Dorn